Hey everybody, this is Michael from the Mast Store Knife Shop, and we're here to talk about a knife that we carry in the knife shop by CRKT, which stands for Columbia River Knife and Tool, for some of you that may or may not know that. It is called the Kasilof. We're going to talk a little bit about this knife, and if you stay tuned, I'll let you know where that name came from and why they called it that. You can kind of start off with the box. It comes in a nice presentation box here, and there's just some information inside as far as the warranty and how to care for your knife. Make sure you hang on to that and don't lose that. It will pay off for you in the end. This is a CRKT knife. CRKT has been in existence for about 3 decades now. They started in 1994 with Paul Gillespie and Rod Bremer, and they're former Kershaw employees. If you're familiar with Kershaw, then you'll be familiar with CRKT. Now this is a knife that is made in Oregon here in the United States, and it has a limited warranty to the original owner, so hang on to that receipt, but it's a great knife. So this knife is designed for hunting. It was actually designed by Russ Kommer, who is a professional hunting and fishing guide in Fargo, North Dakota. And he was originally from Alaska, where he was a hunting guide for over 20 years. Now, again, this is a fixed blade. We'll get into the steel here in a minute, but you've got a 1095 steel with Micarta handles, which is really great. These will continue to patina over time. You've got some red liners in there, which kind of really touches it off, makes it have a nice touch. And you can see that the frame is skeletonized, so you can tie a lanyard in there, or it's just really designed to be lighter weight. This is something that has been designed by CRKT to be a companion knife to their other hunting knife, the Soldotna. So if you have that, this would be a great companion knife for this. This is a little bit smaller than the Soldotna, but great knife to take hunting with you and out on the trail and hiking and whatnot. So a really important part of this is also this fantastic sheath. This is a bespoke leather sheath that they put together. It has got a fantastic welt across the back here, oil tanned leather, and so you are not going to poke through this sheath at all as it's settled down in there. It sits deep in the sheath. You've got a belt loop there, again for right-handed only, unless you want to carry a cross draw on the left side, but fantastic double-stitched leather sheath here for this knife. And now it's a drop point, straight edge blade. And they did put a little bit of Cerakoting on the blade to help prevent from any corrosion or anything like that. This knife was actually made by Tops for CRKT. If you're familiar with Tops knives, they are also a fantastic knife manufacturer. This is kind of a collaboration between CRKT and Tops. Let's talk a little bit about the specs and the pricing. Remember that the specs and pricing and links to purchase are in the description below, so make sure you go down there and check it out if you're interested in picking up this knife. The knife weight is 2.4 ounces. Its whole length is 8.63 inches. The blade length is 3.87 inches. And the blade thickness is 0.12 inches. It is a 1095 steel, which is a good steel, great edge retention. It is easy to sharpen, and it has reasonable strength and crisp edges. It'll be ready when you need it. I will tell you that this particular knife, this particular steel, it does require a little bit of proper care to make sure that it's ready when you need it. So I tell a lot of folks that come into the knife shop when they're looking at this knife, or some of the others that have a high carbon content to them, I tell them that this is like your favorite cast iron skillet. There's probably nothing better to cook in, and it does a fantastic job. But if you throw it in the cabinet wet and don't dry it off and oil it, it's going to be rusty when you go to take it out the next time. And I'd say the same thing about this knife. This is going to do everything that you want it to do out on your hunting trips or wherever you take it, but it needs to be taken care of. Make sure that it's dry and clean before being sheathed, and also put a little oil or some kind of wax on it to make sure that it helps protect it. Now they did, again, put this Cerakote on there to help you with the resistance of any kind of corrosion, but you want to make sure that you take it the extra step and just really take care of this knife a little bit further. I brought a few other knives in comparison, but let's talk about the comparison chart here. So you can see here that's highlighted, the 1095 steel. The edge retention is about a 1.5 in there. That means that you can easily sharpen this on the field. In fact, many proponents of this steel will tell you that you can actually take a flat river rock and actually sharpen this steel on the go out in the wilderness if you don't have all the right tools. It's super tough. It's coming in at about a 4.5 on the scale. And then again, the corrosion resistance is kind of non-existent right now. That's why we're putting that Cerakote on it, and you're taking extra care when you're making sure you put it away, that it's clean and dry and protected. What other companies use 1095 steel? Well, I brought a couple of extra knives here to show you. ESEE knife, the ESEE3 here that I brought in from the shop. This is a big seller as well for folks that work outside and work in the wilderness or go hunting or outdoorsy. This is also a 1095 steel, and you see that they do have a coating on the blade as well. But also, I received this knife for Christmas from a really long-time customer. It's an old Cutmaster pocket knife. It was very kind of him to give me this knife for Christmas, but this is a 1095 steel, as well as our old traditional favorites, case knives. If you buy a case knife and it's got carbon steel or a CS on the back, it's usually some kind of 1095 steel at some point in there. These are all great examples of how this blade steel is used. But again, good tough knife for outdoor use and hunting. Back to my original question, what is a Kasilof? Well, the answer to that is that it is the name of a village and an area in Alaska located on the Kenai Peninsula, famous for the Kasilof River and salmon fishing, grizzly bear, and wildlife viewing and outdoor recreation. So that's going to wrap it up for the Kasilof from CRKT today. I hope you found this information helpful. And before you go, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.